Start recording.
No, we are live, huh? No?
Hopefully.
Watch live.
Okay.
Super, finally. Finally. I think we had, there were some issues with our setup.
No, I don't know. I think YouTube did something to us, and
Of course.
something happened with our original stream. So I don't know how many people will join this, but maybe you're going to be looking at this as a recording. So
Yep. As you know, there's a Google conference right now, so maybe the compute is focused there, not much on YouTube stuff. Kidding, of course.
yeah, sorry about this, and hopefully people will see this after the fact when they. I'll post this as a comment to the original video so people would actually see the recording.
Yeah. So welcome everyone to our, I think, 14th session,
14th.
with which we plan to close this period before the summer, and also to conclude our AI adoption framework series, where we'll just give you some high-level advices in terms of governance. It's been a while since we performed our last session, so today there will be a lot of updates to cover, especially with the last week and all the crazy announcement going on, the Microsoft Build event, Google I/O, Nvidia. On top of that, there were also a lot of announcements from the main large language model producers. And as usual, we'll start with news, and then we'll move quickly to the governance part.
Yeah, let's start somewhere. There's so many things happening this week. It's really hard to catch up.
Our last event was a few months ago, I think. So
Probably it was outdated. We should focus on the news from this week only because everything else is pretty much outdated at this point from 2 months ago. So the things that caught our attention, we'll try and kind of summarize them as much as possible. First, let's open up with
OpenAI.
OpenAI. Yeah.
Yep. So they released Codex last week. We had the opportunity to test it last Saturday. So far, pretty amazing. I would, of course, it's still something which is in development, but very easy to use. And I think it's direct competitor to the, let's say, Bolt, Replit, and this kind of tools. Not much direct, I would say, but it's provide very ease of use, if I can say that way. Because if we, I like there were one YouTuber, really, so I'm sorry for not remembering his name, but he put some very nice visualization where we have the control and easy of use of these tools. So it's on the left side, for example, we have Claude Code, which provide us pure terminal usage with huge control from our side, fine control. In the middle, we have all of these nice tools like Cursor, Windsurf, GitHub Copilot. And on the right side, we have the tools like Codex, and we'll see in a minute the announcement from their main competitors in terms of Google and equivalent of Microsoft. But there is no one tool fix all. So it's better to use multiple tools in order to get the job done, especially if we would like to have multiple point of view, let's say, different angles to tackle the same problem. So looking forward, the model so far, it's doing pretty well. I think it's nowadays everybody start to listen how each company promote their model as the best one. It's really depending on which conference you are with. But in general, these are state-of-the-art models. So definitely Codex is one of the top models for coding experience.
It's like it's not probably a service more than just a model, right? It's more of
But of course, all of these models behind the scene, there's ecosystem. A lot of it's not like the open source model which we are running on our solution. But they said that it's fine tuned. I mean, it's achieving much better result even than O3 in coding. Still waiting for O3 Pro. No O3 Pro for us. We hope that this would be released, but we'll see. There were more important stuff. Talking for OpenAI, they done 2 major acquisition in the past few weeks. They acquired Windsurf, which is I think we agree that this is the one of the top 2 competitors together with Cursor. Of course, before all the announcement of Microsoft built in Google, this is pretty fresh of this new introduction. But before that, Cursor and Windsurf were really the best 2 tools for the majority of developers. And definitely, this is a very, very good move. Comparing with Codex, these are totally different products. Keep in mind that Windsurf is it's allow us again a lot more control, a lot of more fine-tune, fine-grade our software. And definitely Codex is something where we just put the task, connect directly the web interface to our repo, and actually we can give multiple tasks at the same time. It's really nice, and definitely, as we said, the combination will be good.
we mentioned this before, but we really like vibe coding as a way of work. We're still seeing resistance from kind of the old school developers of relying on.
They're pretty similar to the old school AI guys, where they said that Gen AI is wasting compute, but I think it's something normal. The hard reality.
For the people who know us, know that we are very positive about all of these changes. So this is definitely one of the things that we love exposing more and more in our work, and we're really grateful for the tools that are being shown.
Absolutely more tools on the market allow the market to move faster, which at the end allow people to use more efficient and easy to use tools for their job in purely natural language. Major acquisition as well yesterday announced by OpenAI. They acquired IO, which is a startup founded by the guy who designed the iPhone. So this is definitely something which shows the commitment of OpenAI to step in on the actual AI devices. So really looking forward for what this acquisition will bring as well.
John Ivey is he's like a legend in the kind of the hardware world, and like Nikki said, he was one of the people who pretty much designed the vision and the way
iPhones, the current smartphones.
He has contributed a lot. So I think OpenAI will be getting into the physical device world very soon. So really a major acquisition. And John Ivey created this company like a couple of years ago.
And it's like $6.5 billion acquisition.
That's amazing return.
This is twice than Windsurf, which is 3 point something. And Windsurf is really something that it's used a lot. There were some statistics regarding Cursor, because Cursor is really get up to speed with the big guys. They are coding, what was the actual number? 1 billion lines of code per day, and in total they were 4 billion. So I may make mistake actual numbers, but the proportion are exactly this one. So it was 25% of the code generated worldwide is via Cursor. So huge achievement by these guys, and I think this is it for now for OpenAI. This was the major announcement, Codex. Looking forward for it. Moving forward to Claude. They also done a pretty significant announcement by including Claude Code into their Claude Max subscription. which is something I know a lot of guys using Quote Code and paying pretty significant money for it, like more than $100 per day. So with this acquisition, this will definitely speed up the development, and as we said multiple times, it's really important for the people to realize that actually small teams using a lot of these subscription, a lot of these tools can be extremely, extremely productive.
Yeah.
So kudos to Quote. And also from this morning, there were some leak of Quote 4. And yeah, we suppose that this will come in the next few weeks.
Very, very soon, yeah.
Yeah, it's already part of the.
For the people who follow the news, you can see how dense the rollouts have become. It's like every other week we have something new show up. That's a major milestone, or you know, long gone are the days when we used to wait 6 months for the next model to show up. Now it's so quickly ramping up.
Absolutely. Talking about rumors, they were also rumors last week, but Elon confirmed in the conversation with Satya in the Microsoft build that Grok 3.5 is coming. The rumors are showing some really good results across the board of the different tests. So again, another confirmation that having the most powerful computer in the world allow you to really to scale. Compute is the most important thing to scale, and they are developing the next version. So I think it was the first gigawatt data center. So based on the success of the first one, we expect that the second would be similar, and actually xAI to catch up pretty quickly with the other folks.
I saw Grok is also being deployed in the major clouds and being offered. Grok is part of Azure right now, so that's a huge leap as well.
Main announcement as well from the Satya and Elon. Yeah, but let's talk more about this on the Microsoft build. Another thing which now is old news is actually Google announced agent-to-agent protocol similar to what Quote announced like MCP. Very happy that all of these protocols are becoming standard. So now all major cloud providers are accepting this. I'm just not sure for AWS, pardon for that. But this was confirmed by Microsoft. So Microsoft adopted A2A protocol, MCP of course, and Google also confirmed the adoption of MCP, including it in multiple tools. There were some really, really nice announcements in Microsoft View. As old system administrators guys, we were so shocked of knowing that Windows will got MCP built in. So definitely good stuff.
Yeah, I think for MCPs, it's kind of unique because it's rare that you see companies unify so quickly on the protocol.
Yeah, I didn't expect that, to be honest. I thought that would
and
be
the adoption is just across the board. Like even the companies who didn't invent it, like Microsoft, is adopting MCP everywhere. They didn't question that it isn't theirs as a protocol.
And everybody's rushing to develop their MCP for their own solution. There's already MCP SaaS businesses where you can rent MCPs, buy MCPs for different tools. So
I think with AI, people have realized there's no point of trying to come up with all of the design. If somebody has come up with something that will be useful, they will just share it.
Right? Yep. Indeed. Quickly moving to the open source world, I think it's old, but Chuan 3 was announced. Pretty significant scores. Again, very good numbers. You can run it on all devices. Great news for the entire open source community. I think we're not going to discuss Llama 4. It's been a long time since it was released. So a lot of information, some challenges in front of the team. So I think this was everything outside of the Microsoft build and Google I/O Summit. So let's jump into the Microsoft.
Yeah,
build.
let's do that. Build has been, it has become more, the two conferences are basically becoming AI conferences lately. Both.
One of our friends, Dancho, he complained that these conferences are only for AI, but it is what it is. I guess this would be the case as well on the Ignite.
Yeah.
And next,
For Build, there's some great things happening with all of the integrations, like we mentioned, the A2A, MCP. Microsoft is trying to, like they did it with models initially a couple of years ago with OpenAI. They're now trying to integrate all the integration there has been missing before. They've been doing it, integrating into their own products, but they are missing some standardization, and MCP and A2A has been put into a lot of the Copilot, Azure services. I like the Foundry announcements as well. They're positioning Foundry to be the central place for not only for development, but just your AI lab pretty much when you're creating applications, and they're adding more features for evaluation and fine tuning and things that you need. I also like that they're trying to get to more models. Obviously, the relationship with OpenAI and Microsoft is a bit on the edge lately. So I think that's the reason why they basically went to their competitor. You know how Sam Altman and Elon Musk are in terms of a relationship, but Microsoft announced on the same conference that what they did with OpenAI, they're now doing with Grok.
And the relationship between Elon and Bill Gates. But
so I expect OpenAI to spin out of Microsoft at some point, because it's becoming apparent that they are not keeping up with this OpenAI being the exclusive partner for models. I wouldn't be surprised to see Anthropic show up in Azure as well.
That's possible, but remember, one important thing outside of the build which we forgot is actually OpenAI decided that they will not continue with their idea to become a for-profit company.
Yeah.
And the major reason behind that it was because Elon also triggered the intention to acquire the company for I think it was $100 billion, setting the bar too high. So if they decided
to prevent them from going
to go for profit, so they decided not going in that direction, at least for now, which put them, I think, in a place where they will not be able to sell the models via the other cloud vendors.
Yeah.
Which is not the true, but for the vice versa, as you said.
So there's so much competition happening. Like everybody's fighting for the customers and for the chance to offer AI services. And they are just looking at the stats for Azure. We can see how many enterprises are currently using OpenAI, Azure OpenAI, or the services around it. Just they cannot keep up. The East US regions are constantly saturated. They cannot keep up with the demand. So AI is being used a lot more than a year ago, and you can imagine compared to 2 years ago when it was rolled out. So for us, this is great because this will push the innovation as well. And as more standardization takes place, as more of these services become self-sufficient, we see Copilot, how it got the capabilities they needed, more integrations within the Microsoft 365 stack. And the GitHub Copilot announcements are also interesting. Coding agent, obviously, GitHub Copilot was up to this point was inferior to Cursor, which is kind of strange because Cursor was just a couple of guys meeting together and creating a piece of software where on the other end you have the biggest software company in the world.
And it is a fork of VS Code.
Yeah,
and don't forget that.
And Yes, and still they've implemented a lot of the cursor functionality. So I think GitHub Copilot is a great offering right now.
Um,
They need to make it more appealing in terms of the pricing, but since they added more models that you can use Claude, you can use MCPs, you can use things like that. It's just for the corporate world, maybe it may even become a better option than Cursor if the innovation doesn't
I think
proceed
one
it.
important advantage of Cursor, and actually not only from Cursor but also from
Hmm.
Google, is exactly this relationship between the two. Because I think because of Cursor, remember we discussed that they are producing 25% of the code right now worldwide. Actually, the new Gemini model 2.5 Pro, the old one and the new one becoming the most used LLMs within the tool, which generates 25%. So this definitely boosts a lot both tools, because as we would see after everything announced in Microsoft built, this was definitely a big, I would say the biggest comeback of Google so far, definitely.
Yeah. It's just all sorts of, like I said, MCP integrations. You can talk to Dataverse, you can talk to Dynamics. The teams can invoke, the Teams SDK can talk to different services. So
But yeah, I saw about Teams SDK, a lot of
yeah,
good
yeah.
stuff that allows people to, the developers to do a lot
It's
of things
just
with
the
Teams.
developers have been empowered tremendously. It's just if you let your let yourself go out of the kind of the norm and just start using AI the way it's supposed to be
Try.
used, I think you will find such a new world in terms of what you can do, how you can interact with information, how easy it is.
Mm.
So by Ignite in November, we will see how the adoption of these new tools will be. But I
Mm.
suspect a lot of new companies will show up with consulting services and integrating different agents and stuff. It's just agents. Yeah, the agent piece has really changed with the whole context protocol implementation. The other thing that I want to point out from which is really interesting is the NL Web announcement from Microsoft. It's like another visionary way of thinking about how AI will be integrated into the stack. And it's more of a concept right now. It just sits on top of the other layers that we've talked about, but they call it the natural language web. And it's really the last thing that has not changed so far. It has been static, our websites, how they look, how we interact with them, how the information is being transformed in them. And I think their vision of using sort of the agentic mechanism and integrating them into websites will be really interesting how that will play out. Like I said, it's more of a concept, and we'll see what the adoption will be. I suspect this will change as we go, but the internet is probably going to change the way it works and how information is being displayed. It's just the overall way of interacting, the way we've done it through phones and computers, will probably change a lot in the next uh, 3 or 4 years, maybe 5. And we'll see. But this build has been really interesting compared to previous years. Just some really new cool things to play with. There's a new local client, sort of a Microsoft's version of Olama. They branded it as Azure Foundry Local.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. Just we want to play with some of this stuff already, and we'll see how it will translate into value as well, because we don't want just to be toys for us.
Yep, there were, by the way, when you said Foundry, there were tons of announcements
Yeah.
related to Foundry. So there is, again, as you said, actually, Satya brought all the top leaders in one place, which was pretty nice. We saw he brought Elon, and actually he wrote him saying that he was Microsoft intern working on DOS. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a surprise because I think
I didn't, to be honest, I didn't
in
know
one
that.
presentation he brought Sam Altman and Iwan, which is
And then
and they've
Jensen.
been feuding for
But yeah, when that's
interesting.
at the end, this is
He plays some 4D chess.
I
He's a very smart CEO. I
yeah,
mean, from
it's
what he does.
I think it's more like at the end it's business
Yeah, of course.
for everybody, and also Ivan realized that I mean he has the entire XAI. I see the usage of Grok's like under every single post you can see explain Grok, explain, confirm if it's true. So definitely Grok is doing a lot of work and is doing great, to be honest. But this is some gateway to the enterprises and provide the enterprises the ability to use Grok. So this is a big milestone. And also the, as you said, the conversation with Sam, he brought also, of course, Jensen, the NVIDIA CEO in this event. It was a pretty smart move. But yeah, Foundry become more and more capable, more models right now you can use. So you can use Sora, by the way, and now, and they're really pushing it to be the single place for everybody to experiment and to build, to play. I think they were integration with the right now with Cosmos DB, direct integration where you can put the actual to store your conversation with the models, etc. You have also the ability to I think the Foundry agent service now is GA as well. As we said, there were the MCP I think is right now built in, and you can use it as well. So really, and also A2A, as we said, they I think they announced it 2 weeks ago or something like that. So right now they can use it. They improved the observability a lot. So right now you have much better metrics. You can trace the more metrics, if we can say that our conversation. You have this model router preview, which allows you during the conversation to help you pick the best model for the specific task automatically. There's some announcement from Azure AI Search as well related to the multi-step RAC. I think this was something which we saw in the past. I think Wama team was doing something similar in the past, and as we discussed with some of the product group of the AI Search, usually the things are coming first in the OpenAI stuff. But yeah, it's really a lot of improvements, and also some good stuff in terms of prompt shields. I think they become GA right now. We know Microsoft is doing pretty well with the prompt shields, with in general with the AI safety. They are built in safety for the models. It's very easy to use. Nikki can share some good stuff with them of term of experiencing the other partners, and yeah.
It's like it's for Azure for the whole conference. I think we'll probably have to see what for all of the news that will come from the different conferences this week. We need to get our heads clear and kind of assess the news, because a lot of it's marketing sometimes. I've watched some of the breakout sessions for the stuff that I'm interested in from a practical perspective. But I like the visionary things that were announced. I like that some of the services already available. You can test them out. It's not something that like it will be 4 months from now. So that's really we're going to see how things will how things will work with with Microsoft in general and then the other vendors. We're excited as usual.
One really really nice announcement which shows the Microsoft vision and commitment that the future is would be with definitely agentic and a lot of agents is Enter Agent ID announcement. So it's becoming, of course, it's preview, but this is really another layer, if I can say, functionality of Entra, where you have a new type of identity, which is the agent, which you can control similarly to how you can control the users, how you can control service principals, manage identities. You can, I guess, you can use, of course, conditional access policies. There is also a very nice integration, which was announced as well with Defender and Purview. So we think that this is the first vendor which is and it's been as we discussed about the content safety filters in Microsoft. They've been doing pretty good with making sure that you can have really enterprise ready Gen AI solutions with all of these tools preparing in front of the actual how to say, the most hot, interesting part, which is the actual Gen AI models and the inferencing usage of them. So this is very, we're very excited and happy to see this thinking and building the tools before the actual, let's say, agents become like crazy mainstream, if we can say that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of automation coming in to integrate into the services. I really like the, what would they call it? Agents for DevOps agents or something.
I saw for SREs as well.
Yeah, SRE agent. So it will be interesting for us as an implementer of the technology, how this will work. We can, being at that position before, we can actually assess how practical it is and how it will work.
Yeah.
So
yep,
we can do a whole full hour just on news, and this is just this week. Imagine.
Yep. Most probably, yeah. We'll go quickly through the also to Google I/O event. As we said at the beginning, a lot of announcement there as well. This is the big comeback from Google. Sergey Brin started committing because he was not very happy to be behind, and you might also see the stock market. The company is doing pretty good after all of this announcement. Gemini 2.5 Pro and Flash model, they are really extremely competitive models for every would say for enterprise use, for business use, for end user use, as we discussed. Cursor, the Gemini 2.5 Pro, the two of the versions, because also it's got update. 2.5 Pro got update, and they're doing pretty well. We're using it a lot, sometimes switching to Quad 3.7, but definitely this was the biggest comeback for Google so far, and we can agree that they are now on really the top list of Gen AI services provider.
Absolutely.
They continue with similar to Microsoft, they continue to integrate all of these capabilities through their entire ecosystem. They announce this integration within your Gmail, where you have automated replies. But for example, they were nice demos, shows how the model is looking for all of the different services that you've been using and prepared a response before. We have some recommendations for improvement, which we already noticed, but definitely big comeback again from Google. You may heard about the rumors that actually they start after, I think it was Apple announcement. They announced that actually the usage of Google search has dropped significantly within the iOS platform. So they are trying to, let's say, reinvent the search, if we can say that way. So they put it some AI mode, to catch up with the competitors of mainly the OpenAI. I think OpenAI is gaining the most of the search, let's say, pie, if I can say that way, because Quad gets recently disabilities at all. So they're trying to make it a little bit, to improve it, really to answer the GPT-powered search. They now include Gemini Live within the search, where you can, show and asking some stuff, etc. Some upcoming agent mode. I think it was Project Mariner or so.
How do you remember this stuff?
I have it in front of me. Just I'm transparent person. But yeah, it was very date. These code names. It's happened. Usually we are working a little bit more with Microsoft services, but in nowadays it's we are using a lot of Gemini services as well. Especially for this price, it's a big competitor to.
A lot of people say it's the most cost effective
yeah.
Performance ratio model for the enterprise right now.
There's few other things in terms of communication that were released. There were this Google Beam. I think we got previously, it was like with the other name, but it was nice with all of this avatar, with these multiple cameras where people are more immersive. I think this is area where Meta dominate pretty hard, and we're expecting the glasses. I think it would be in the next several weeks or so, the new glasses. So, but at least the demos looks pretty nice with this immersive communication. Something really important in Meet, I think right now in the US, but the live translation would be available. We're waiting this for Teams. Still don't have it.
I think it's already in preview. I mean, I don't know which tenants have it, but
Maybe
the translation agent should be there.
Yeah, so right now the translation is coming to Meet in English and Spanish.
I know you really want to translate from your Chinese colleagues.
Of course. But yeah, definitely this was, the demo was pretty nice. Another important thing is it was with the new View 3 model. Now it can talk. So we saw a lot of nice demos, movies where people were discussing. So really, really, really big comeback by Google. If we can, summarize this. They put it Google AI Ultra subscription for $250, so 50 more than OpenAI Pro. Most probably will get it as well. There was also this deep thing, which I think it should be the Pro models answer, where you have the model, you have more compute for the model. But yeah, let's see. They were, in terms of for development platform, major and important thing was that they got this answer to like Juice, I think it was the name, it was Juice. So it's, again, async coder where you give it the task, pretty similar, I think, to Codex. Some Firebase Studio updates, but really we are not been using that too much so far, and can share first experience from first phase. Gemma 3N was their open source model. So far the results are very good. The feedback from people is very good. Again, it's very small model. You can run it on almost every laptop, modern laptop. They also provide this MedGemma, different version of Gemma. Gemini Diffusion, which was like stunning demos where you got everything crazy fast. So really a lot of things. I'm not sure that we can.
Google focuses a lot on device AI models because they've been experimenting with kind of the Gemma family, putting it in their Android phones. I think was the one of the use cases. So we'll see how this develops. But on device AI will pick up soon. I suspect that as the models get more optimized and the hardware becomes faster, we will get on device AI that will work. Will have very good results. Think about having GPT-4 level understanding running on a mobile phone. That's that's going to be huge because being independent and you not needing an internet connection will open up a lot of doors. But you need the extra reasoning. So far, the smaller models have not been, unless you fine tune them or gonna train them on specific tasks. We don't have a very good general kind of foundational model running on device. It's too difficult to create.
But both of them are going with these work models. I think everybody's going with these work models. But I think this is really hard to catch up with the major player, which is XAI and also NVIDIA, I would say. So if we can conclude with the news, how you compare both events? What is your feeling?
Well, I have to be honest. I looked at Build more just because of the line of work that we're doing. Like I said, we are waiting on some sort of a recap just to see where things landed, what is available for testing, because that's important. Like you can say a lot of things on these conferences, but when you don't give it to people for access, when you say it's a closed preview or it's nothing you can actually touch and implement somewhere, it's kind of hard to say, yeah, this is great without seeing it firsthand. Marketing has a major role in AI selling of services, so we want to go beyond that, and we typically look at stuff that's kind of available and assess it this way. But it has, on the front side, it says that we have a lot of potential. I really like the integrations. The MCP enablement across the board will make a huge difference to the adoption of AI. It's just when you're able to talk to services more seamlessly without having to build integration layers constantly, then that makes a night and day difference. What about for you?
I think it's of course I also watch a little bit more Build, but after also let's say I really recognize the big comeback. Really happy that the guys are back and doing a lot of stuff. Something which I'm a bit, I don't know, we have to get familiar on it or get used to it, is all of the vendors are starting following my favorite guy Elon Musk of showing stuff that is not available yet and will take some time. I have some of the demos I just recalled that, but I saw that in the previous event and it's still not available. But in general, it's in nowadays it's really hard to catch up with all the news. I think that definitely looking forward for all the implants that may come. We just need more compute as well, similarly to the large language models.
Just to close this out, I was thinking, as you were saying this, that unfortunately there were a lot of layoffs that happened this year. That started last year, but you can see it's all over the news lately. And I think a lot of the people who are being let go right now from these major companies who are developing AI, the people who are let go kind of think it's because of AI, and it probably is in a sense. But at the same time, I'm seeing a lot of these folks actually turn to AI and start learning services just because they see that this is going. It's for the hard reasons. You don't want to get into AI just because you got laid off. but at the same time, we've started this group just so we can show people. And it's like it's been almost 2 years ago when we said, this is happening. And even for us, we knew, we were big believers back then. But even for us, the progress that's being made and the way things are being deployed and how much money is being spent on AI right now, it goes over even our expectations as a sort of a positive person on stuff. So I think the whole takeaway from this is if all conferences right now are on AI, and if there's still people who saying that this is just a buzzword, I think you're probably wrong. I think these 2 years have kind of proved something to people. There's still people that doubt AI and say that it doesn't prove its value, that CEOs are stopping the investment. But I can see otherwise.
I think everybody now can see that, even people outside of the IT industry. Happily, we have a lot of experience.
We're doing trainings, and we see more and more people who are coming in who say they've actually are using AI. So.
And the other important thing is, this reminds me actually to what Sundai started on the Google I/O, the usage, inference usage of Gemini model. It was 9 trillion tokens. And just for 1 month, or very small period. I really don't want to saying anything wrong, but it went to 480 trillion tokens. So 50x, just extremely quickly. So all this development, and by the way, we didn't touch everything in the term of research development, where all the companies are now really focused on bringing this research model, which can speed up. I mean, accelerating even more all of the AI progress. So exciting time, crazy times again.
You're saying this every time when we do a session.
To citate Mitko again, Mitko Vasilev, no more than 2 days. What we can see. We don't have much time, unfortunately, for the main topic, but really the idea today was to, let's say, close the cloud adoption framework and
AI adoption.
Thanks for that. I'm already feeling and smelling the Friday nowadays. But the AI adoption framework series, where we discussed a lot about our experience of how organization can integrate it, learning from the mistakes of the others, learning from the previous digital transformation, like the cloud adoption. And today is just really, we want to recap with some high level advices in terms of the governance part, starting what we saw is most important for the majority of the clients. And if we can, rank all of these important pillars, part of the governance, we think that actually security and compliance, especially for large enterprises, but also for medium-sized businesses, where the impact of some challenges with not obeying this compliance standard would be huge. So they put the security and compliance on top of this. Everybody is putting the cost as a second important thing. Sometimes security and cost are going hand by hand. Of course, after that, scalability and reliability. So starting with security and compliance, some really from, again, as we said, Microsoft is the vendor which we think focus hardly on the security identity part. Their industry standards, Entra IT's industry standard. I don't think that there is anything even closer to the capabilities of this, far behind. Long time ago, that they took some advantage at the beginning. But with all of these new introduction with AI stuff, with the new service offerings, you can leverage to the content safety. I think they are dating the versions. You have the ability to create custom one.
I wasn't able to play much after the build announcement. What new was included there? Do you have any? Do you have the chance to check what's new was there in the content safety filter? I saw some sessions in that regards.
There were some. I think it was mainly around the integration with other services. You can push. I mean, for the filters, I have not looked into it yet.
But
It will be, but the content safety is becoming a standard for doing the evaluation, and it's being used for other models as well.
yeah, of
So,
course, yeah.
not only Microsoft's models.
I've heard one guy said that actually this is built in actually the security is built in the models.
Yeah.
I've heard, and
that
please
was,
please don't think that's the case.
that was dumb.
I think I know some people which just from curiosity would try to play a bit with your models, the company models, etc. So please treat that as really important to have appropriate content safety, especially if you plan to offer this to your customers, outside customer. It doesn't matter B2B, B2C. Then all of this security and content safety is really, really important. It doesn't matter how much how much effort you spent on having your term and conditions that people are accepting before start chatting with your talking with your chatbots. But yeah, with Microsoft, easiest to use, really easy to customize, pre-built, very good tracking. So definitely our recommendation in terms of interacting with the models would be to look after what the cloud vendors provide, and yeah, if possible, again, just as an example, because we are working mostly with Microsoft. Another important thing is just the, let's say, old school security, networking security. All of the services support private communication. All of the services support managed identity communication. So,
or the equivalent
or
in the cloud.
Yeah, or the equivalent in the other clouds. But passwords, connection string, secrets. This is when I see secrets and there's no external communication. It's, yeah, this is bad. I can't remember. There were one guy. I think it's Christopher Parcel, if I'm not mistaken. He's a very security-oriented guy, very, very good content always. But or Eli Shlomo, I'm not sure, sorry, really. But they put it 5 levels of what you're doing of the security. I have the link, I'll paste it in the comment. And you can follow it and see how well you're doing with your environment. It's not related to AI, but it's really important for AI as well, because this is via the AI, people can actually extract everything which is connected to it. And as we may realize, actually, the entire effort with all of these MCP A2A is, and not only, but is to have fast connection to absolutely everything, and everything digital. So if you are able to compromise to some extent your, let's say, Gen AI services, you actually get access to tons of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why security is the most important. So think about privacy, think about of content filter. There are some new compliance standards that you may check, but focus on AI. We already were involved in some audits in that matter. So please have a look at them. All of the major, so ISO, NIST organization, they are releasing such
frameworks
compliance
that are
standards, frameworks. So it's better to have a look, especially if you're working in one organization. This will come, I would say, very quickly. So it's better to be prepared. And now it's a bit more stable, let's say that way. Last year it was a bit of rushy, changing stuff, but yeah, it's a bit more stable. Anything you would like to add security, or we may move to cost optimization?
Yeah, let's move to cost, because I think that's, for me, the top priority. I mean, yeah, you
No,
generate.
it's important for everybody.
Yeah, and it's important now because people have infinite budgets right now, or
I like how
they
it's
think
said.
they have. So
Yeah,
this
it's
will, we've seen this in the past. This will become a problem very soon. Is-
it's I think we are repeating ourselves. Last year we also discussed that this becoming a problem. People are doing POC, they do not get the result. These are really lessons which weren't learned from the past transformation. It was pretty similar with the cloud.
The difference is the economy has less money. So the only way you can allow infinite budgets for AI is you need to let people go to make up for it. That's kind of, or you need to make sacrifices elsewhere. So
Uh, yeah, to some extent, but
Yeah.
at the end, now everybody is committed to the AI. I think the numbers were pretty high. I really don't want to say wrong things, but I believe 90% of S&P 500 is already adopting AI to some way or another. So no doubt AI would be in every single business, would be part of our day life, of our world. So the cost and knowing how to manage the cost, it's becoming more and more important. So for us as a small team, it's really easy to pay for every for the majority of top vendor subscription. That's not a problem, and we get extremely big value of this. But when you start productize your ideas and start building solution in production, mass scale solution, some small update of the version of the model can give you significant advantage, or let's say paid for your entire R&D of the solution. We saw multiple times people are not having, let's say, process of updating the model versions, because this is pretty similar to the actual version of the compute in the cloud.
Yeah.
So almost every time, I think every time actually, the newest version is cheaper. Newest version of the same model. That's important thing, not the different models. But a lot of people still following the rule that if it's working, don't touch it. They are afraid to touch it, and usually they don't have actually appropriate processes for evaluation of the new models, proper way of testing the new versions of the models, because we also saw, by the way, I think a few months ago, OpenAI shut it down, the newest version, because they saw some weird behavior, etc.
Yeah.
So it's really important in order to have good cost, let's say, it's actually sparking OPRs, but this is something really important for our organization, to have good process and in automated way to evaluate quickly the new models and provide them to the auditions. This is something which we are doing a lot from the beginning. We always try to get the smartest and most efficient model, part of our solutions that we are working on. So definitely this is impacting security cost, absolutely everything. The models right nowadays, and actually the creativity of the people playing with them is infinite. So yeah, choose the right model. You can have a router to switch to the different models based on the request. Something like dynamic routing. Caching is important part here.
Semantic caching.
Yeah, it's really just use what the vendors provide wisely and to the appropriate extent, and know which models is good for the specific task. So not going like in the past, everybody was using the most smartest model for everything because they wanted the best results. But no, sometimes slowest results are not the best. Moving forward to scalability, I think here actually we can discuss scalability and reliability at once, because as Nicky said, I know that he has a lot of headache with these two pillars, but yeah, it's because of this crazy demand right now. It's really
Yeah.
hard to get the appropriate number of tokens that is required. It's really hard to when you need more tokens to provision them quickly. So even that the vendors are providing some very expensive stuff, reserved unit. It's again, this needs to be planned and think in advice. Remember, we already discussed in the previous session where how we have to plan our landing zone when we design it in order to be scalable and reliable. So having checking the quotas for both of these is crucial. So checking the limitations. I think we never had times where knowing the limitation of the cloud provider more important than today.
Yeah.
Also, we discussed this, but talk with your account manager. Talk with them in order to know where their plan of investment to the new region is.
If they know.
If they know, if they don't know, you do
They
your
must
best.
know.
You do your best, force them
Yeah.
to go up and just let you know, because this is actually this is in interest of everybody, both them and you, because well, we had multiple conversation with this with all the major cloud providers with their account teams, etc., product groups. So knowing where the investment goes, this will also help for the cloud provider to to have less density, less challenges, because for them this is also waste of I mean, this is also taking time. Imagine you have two important clans fighting for the compute within the region which you or you abandoned it a long time ago. So if they provide you early the information, at least this is what we saw with this was our experience. They really trying to provide you early information where they plan to invest and where you should try to move your AI workload. Definitely, this is important thing.
It's you need to have people inside of the team to manage this. No question about it.
So from technical perspective, maybe you can say a few words.
Yeah, I think there's a few pain points. One is having the burst capacity for specific use cases, like you need to do a lot of pre-processing of data, and you need to do this with millions of records. There are mechanisms to do that, but you need to work with the developers to show them how to use batch APIs, how to do asynchronous calls, so that can be accomplished. Like Nikki said, you need to look at the models as they are being used and deployed by the vendors. You need to know your audience as well. You need to build a strong foundation and connection with your audience. You don't just give them don't just give them access and just leave them there, because they don't know what to do. Typically people treat models as something that's they don't have to manage, so they kind of pushing the responsibility to the devoted team. So there's a new, well, I say new, but there is a organization forming within IT that will manage AI capacity going forward. Just it requires different understanding, the different way of thinking, for services that we have not been responsible before. So overall, the vendors are trying to align with each other, but there's some, I can say, working with the three major clouds, there's definitely drawbacks to using each. Like, for instance, AWS is far behind in adoption of standardization and in just scalability. GCP doesn't have a big catalog at all, and they're kind of living in their own world. Microsoft is pushing too many changes, which is difficult for people who are managing this to kind of keep up and understand where to go next, and that kind of confuses the whole strategy. So be agnostic, and it requires a bit of attention, but at the end of the day, that's the enabler for the organization. If you're going to be doing custom coding and you're not going to be doing
Yeah.
SaaS services, you have to provide this. So, and it will be an ongoing need and much broader than it was, let's say, a year ago.
Yep. Okay, I think with that said, we can conclude this series. Of course, we are open to questions. We'll be happy to have any to answer them. You can reach us directly in LinkedIn, post in YouTube as comments. Really sorry for today's challenges, but yeah,
sorry about that.
we'll have some, let's say, summertime. We'll not say vacation, but because we're doing a lot of other stuff. But yeah, hopefully we'll be back in September or so.
Maybe, yeah.
If there's some crazy announcement, we may have some session in the summer like we did last week. But yeah, let's see.
Let's see. Thank you all for participating. And if you're watching this over a recording, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate the support, and yeah, see
Like
you next
and
time.
subscribe. Yep.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.